Welcome back to Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm dear darling, and shall we see what's going on our lovely island of Fawnhollow today? Well, we'll be relaxing as per usual. You might be like, oh dear darling, new Honkai Star Rail patch came out. How is it? I haven't played through the story yet, but I played through a bit of it, and it's pretty good thus far. You might have been like, weren't you going to pull for Blade? And obviously you're not saying this, but I'm just filling up a banter before Isabella spawns. How did your pull for Blade go? They went insanely well. I'm not going to lie. I lost the 50-50 to Shepard, who was my number one perm character I wanted. Then I got Blade at number 75 again-ish or so, and then I pulled a Bronya, three pulls later. It was insanity, and I also got Bailey from a standard banner. So I'm now up like 5 characters. Anyway, good evening everyone, and most of you don't care about that, but right now in Fawnhollow it's 7:50 p.m. on Wednesday, July 19th, 2023. But that's the thing with these video diaries, is like, what's the point if I don't talk about, current things, things affecting, I'm not sure affecting is really the right word, but things which are relevant to me at the very moment. And, well, I don't think it can get more relevant than something I literally, did today. The other thing I suppose I can talk about is the fact that the webcam I bought ended up arriving today. It was unexpected, I would say, because it said it was going to arrive tomorrow, but here it is today. I've looked at its quality on the camera app on Windows, and it is insane. Like my old webcam must be like 15 years old or something. Hold on, is that right? I'm pretty sure I got it in primary school. So yeah, probably about 15 years old. I don't really know the exact numbers, but anyway, the long and short of it is it's the old. And I was like, it's time for an upgrade, because you never know when I might need it now or whatever. So I got I can't remember what it is called, but it's a recommended one. Like, it's probably got the company brand on it. It's Logitech something 22 or something 2022. I don't know. And the honest answer is I probably won't even use it like an extreme amount or anything. It's just I was like, I should probably get one for when I eventually need to get one or whatever, and I don't have to use this terrible 4x3 tiny webcam one. Instead, I can use this very cool HD one, and the recommended model, which people always say, is like, I think it was C20. I think it was a Logitech C20 or something like that. Then I was like, Logitech C22 is not much more expensive, and it's also like kind of recommended. So I was like, okay, I'll just spring for that one. Why not? And then I bought it, and I opened up my camera app, and I was like, whoa, okay, this is like crazy. Like, it's like night and day, the difference. Obviously, it was always going to be night and day, but it never really occurred to me how bad my old webcam was compared to now looking at this new webcam. I'm like, this is insane. Like, it's like better than my phone. Okay, maybe it's not actually. Like, maybe I should open it again just to get another feel for what it looks like. And I'm just like, okay, I open it, and I'm looking. I'm like, whoa, that's me. You obviously can't see me or anything, but it's like a full quality or whatever. And I'm like, what? But I had some good memories of that old webcam. I didn't throw it away or anything. It's just not here. I'm just not actively using it anymore. But I have some good memories of a webcam. When I used to like video call my friends back in primary school. And you might be like, you used to video call your friends back in primary school? Discord wasn't a thing. Or I mean, you probably wouldn't say that, because I guess that'd be kind of judgmental, or like excessively so. But yeah, basically, back in the day, we used to use something called MSN Messenger, which is a Microsoft social network messenger, I suppose. I'm not sure actually what it's called. But that was basically what we used back in primary school to talk to each other. We all had MSN, and then it changed itself to Windows Live Messenger or whatever, and that's what we ended up using. And if you didn't have MSN for whatever reason, I mean, it was free, so maybe your parents didn't want you to install it or whatever, what you could actually do is you could have this program. There's this thing called eBuddy, which ran on the web browser, which could connect to people's like MSN accounts or something, and you could basically use that in lieu of having an MSN account to talk to your friends or whatnot. You couldn't video call, you couldn't do any of the built-in integration, so you couldn't like play the games or anything, but you could still talk to your friends. So that's what we used to use, in lieu of like. Because not all of us live close to each other, so it's not, I feel like it's certainly like back in my day, we used to hang out after school, and I did hang out after school with my friends, but I also did live far from, not like extremely far, I just like, in younger years in primary school, I lived in the same town as them, and then we moved to the next town over, which is not that far, but it's not like in walking distance to my friend's house. And that's kind of the age, I suppose, where, you know, I guess I would do that. I'd go hang out with my friends or something. But so instead, we hung out online a lot of the time. Like, most friends I had like MSN or whatever, Windows Live Messenger. Apart from my best friend had it, but like he never used it. He was a very sort of active person, so probably didn't spend as much time on the computer as I did. But I remember just like the days of spending chatting away on MSN or whatever. Nowadays it's Discord. I'm sure, like back in, you know, when I was in secondary school, it was kind of Facebook. But you know, the things come and go. And right now it's Discord, so I can't wait to see how Discord self-implodes as a social media platform in about 10 years' time, maybe. I don't know, 10 years is a bit excessive. 10 years seems like a lot, you know, as optimistic as I want to be, because I do like Discord quite a lot. Is it not going to self-implode after 10 years? Who knows? But that's a prediction I made. I was just like, this is my prediction. You can hold me, well, don't hold me to it because there's nothing I'm going to do in like recompense or anything. But I predict Discord is going to be the next big social media for online spaces. Not necessarily for like general human populace, because I still think Instagram's got kind of a hold on it. I don't know if people are necessarily going to Threads all that much. I haven't really heard much buzz about it in like real life, but Instagram is still holding on very strong. But certainly from the online space, you know, if Discord can somehow nail the niche that Reddit currently has, then I think Discord's probably going to have a stranglehold over the industry for a while. That's my prediction. Anyway, that's not here nor there. Yeah, you know, I used to talk on MSN. We used to talk on MSN, and then it used to be Facebook, and then it used to be Skype, and then now it's Discord. I mean, Discord kind of replaced Skype, to be perfectly honest. You know, and Skype was kind of concurrent with Facebook, depending on if my friends are gamers or not. But yeah, it was good times talking on MSN. You know, I remember we used to, the equivalent of whatever Bitmoji was back in the day, it was like a Windows Live avatar or something which you had to make. And I remember I made one, and my avatar person was like underwater, and I had a water bottle like with me, and I had like an owl, and then it was like what we talked about in school the next day. It'd be like, oh dear darling, your avatar's like so funny. Okay, no one talks like that. But it was like, you're not Discord, your avatar is so silly. It's like, oh, you know, you're underwater and your owl is there. Like, ooh, what am I doing? I don't know. But I just remember that conversation in my head, and we were talking about each other's like Windows Live avatars or whatever, and we all used to have like these absolutely ridiculous names and things, because you could put HTML or whatever in your names, and it would like change color, or you could change the font or whatever. I remember my name was something so stupid. It was like, so like, you roll your eyes, you know, it's like a live laugh sort of like level, which, you know, inherently I don't think there's anything wrong with that. If you have like a live laugh, you know, sign up in your home, you know, more power to you, I suppose. People see it as shallow, but at the end of the day, isn't it kind of more about like the intention of it? I don't think you would hang it up and with the intention of like, no, I'm not going to follow this. I'd like to think you hang it up in good faith, being like, yeah, I do want to live, love, and laugh. Like, what's wrong with that? And there's nothing wrong with that, you know. Let's not be overly dismissive of these things just because I suppose what's the word? I don't want to say cringy, because it's not really cringy, but sort of like shallow, I guess, or like they have a perception of being shallow. But I remember my name, or my handle, I suppose, was something like, why do people never stand out in the rain? They always miss the rainbow. And then it had the word Phyllis, because for whatever reason, in like year 5 to year 6, and I think I spoke about this, we each developed our own like catchphrases or whatever. Like, I think one of my friends' ones was like snafu or something, and mine wasn't Phyllis exactly, it was like Phyllis or something, but I can't remember. No, I think it was just Phyllis. I don't remember. It was just after the Animal Crossing character from you know, Pelly's sister from the old games, which if you play New Horizon you won't know about them, which is a bit sad. And then it had my name, which, you know, Dear Darling, or not Dear Darling, my actual name. It was just wild, and I remember it was in like a sort of tealy ivy greenish sort of colour, and it was in a Lucida handwriting ITC font. I think that's a font. Lucida handwriting ITC. Was it this font? Yeah, I think it was this font. It's been a long while, so it's not exactly something I've got like on the forefront of my memory. And that was it. And I can't remember what like any of my other friends like chat handles were, to be honest. But that was very much a norm, I suppose, for us back in the day, to be like, oh, you know, instead of just having like a normal one like our name, we would put something cool in front or something, and then like say some random stuff or whatever. What else was cool back in the days of MSN if you've never experienced it? You know, there was something called nudging on it, which is basic. It's basically just like I guess it must be after the bump from forum posts. If you don't know about forum posts, then well, okay. Bump just means bring up my post. It's basically like if no one's responded to your post in a while, the way that forums worked is more recent ones are put near the front. You bump your post, and then you basically just post a message in it saying bump, and then it's just like bring up my post, like bring it back to the front page again, so more people can see it, so they kind of like answer my question, etc., etc. That's kind of like a bygone era now, because you know I don't think any social media site now goes newest first. I think most of the times it's kind of like tailored recommended, or you know, whichever's got the most sort of like noise around it goes to the highest ranks. What was I going to say? But yeah, there's a thing called nudge, where basically you would press it and it would send a nudge to whoever, you know, you pressed it on. And what it basically do, it would just like shake the chat window. And then it would basically give you a notification that someone sent you a message, you know, flash the toolbar orange or whatever. Not the entire toolbar, but just the icon on the toolbar orange. And then it would just like get your screen and get the window of your chat box and just go, and then just shake it. Quite violently, mind you. I mean, it would just post a message in the chat being like, Mary Sue sent you a nudge. Or has nudged you or something like that. It's kind of like a Facebook poke, I suppose. Except for a lot more just sort of in your face to get your attention. That was always good fun, just like nudging each other for no reason. What else? There's some emojis. I mean, emojis is still a thing. But there's built-in integrations, I remember, where you could play games. I think I've talked about this before, but it was a game called Fisticuffs, which is basically a game of rock, paper, scissors, where you slap each other with fish. It was a mini game where you had to catch the biggest fish possible, and then you slap each other with a fish. And the bigger your fish is, the more damage you do, or whatever. But it was something like if you play a certain amount and you win a certain amount, you can get better fish. You know, you can unlock more fish. And I remember I was working my way up to unlocking the biggest fish possible. And then at some point, for some reason, all my like data on it just got reset, and I was back to square one. And I was just like so upset by the entire thing. And I was like, my fish. It was a hard time convincing a load of people to play Fisticuffs with me. I was probably very annoying in that thing, being like, play Fisticuffs with me. I gotta unlock this final thing. I'm a collector. I just don't know it yet. What else is I don't remember any of those. Fisticuffs is where it's at. I wonder if I Google it. There'll be a picture of it. Fisticuffs, so you can all revel in its like early 2000s sort of glory. Yeah, there we go. There it is. Round 1, defend. Where on yourself would you like to defend? And you either defended your head, your stomach, or your feet. I can't remember what beats what. I think feet beats head, head beats... Yeah, you attack feet if they... No, you attack wherever, and then you can only block one of them. Yeah, well, that's right. It wasn't rock, paper, scissors. It was just like, it's like anti-rock, paper, scissors. You had to like not match or something, I don't know. It's a unique experience, that's what it is. Oh god, very nostalgic looking at it. Anyway, what was I going to say? What else was there on MSN? I remember in MSN there was also Windows Live blogs, and I feel like I've spoken about this before vaguely, but basically Windows Live, you know, had a messenger, but you could also like create your own blog. And I remember that they've long been retired, hopefully, like, I hope so. If it's still there, you know, I'd like to find my old blog because it sounds hilarious, but everyone had their own blogs, people wrote about things. I remember one of my friends, one good friend, she wrote about, like, current pop culture news. Like, I remember her first article when I was reading, it was, like, about Taylor Swift dating someone, I think. I don't remember who, or, like, the rumours. And my ones I remember were all philosophical like things. Like the first one was about like trying to attain perfection. Except for I wrote them in like a sort of slam poetry sort of style. So, you know, there wasn't too much substance to them because again I was like 11. How much do I really know about the world? And you know, I know like bits and pieces, but certainly not enough to compare to, you know, me now or me in like 50 years or whatever. For a life experience perspective, let's say. Certainly back then I probably knew a lot more about fisticuffs than I do now. Yeah, but I wrote about, like, perfection. I can't remember what the other ones I wrote were. I remember I wrote a blog post thing about, you know, the concept of being, like, what if we don't see colours the same way? I think it was just about perspectives or whatever. I remember it was brought up in school once as well, where the teacher said something about perfection. We were like, oh, you got to read Dear Darling's like latest blog or something. Like I was like, relevant to it. Relevance to it. I don't remember. It was something along those lines. It's, come on, like give me a break. It was like 15 years ago. I don't quite remember. But yeah. There was something else I was going to say. I can't remember what. I also used to upload my Colorado drawings on there because back then that's when I like Colorado. I had my own team of Colorado characters. I don't remember anyone except for I think one of them was called Prisasa, which is not a very Japanese sounding name. I guess if I change it now, I'd call it like Pisasa. Sounds terrible. I'd call it like Fusasa maybe. Fuawa. Fuawa is too on the nose, isn't it? Anyway, maybe like Shisasa. Shisasa sounds quite fun. Anyway, that's not the point. I was talking about MSN Messenger. There's also things like you can make group chats with people. Oh, that's actually what we used to use before Skype as well. We used to have voice chats on there. But for whatever reason, MSN, you could only have one-on-one voice chats. So if you wanted to have a group chat with multiple people, you would have to like have a voice chat with some person and then have a voice recording. And you could send like voice recording clips to each other. So you'd basically have to send voice recording clips and pretend that's what the voice chat was. I don't know. What else? What else could you do on MSN Messenger? Where am I going with this? Anyway, webcams, because I forgot about webcams. That's where I was starting off at. You could also, like, I remember my old webcam. There was the interface you could use of MSN, so you could always play around with these settings. You could play around with like hue, saturation, gamma, brightness, etc. You know, normal like photo correction settings, except for, you know, I was like 10 and didn't understand what any of that meant, to be perfectly honest. So you just play around with it, you just open up and you're talking to a friend and it would like change your life with them. You'd be like, whoa, I'm in black and white right now. And it's like, whoa, that's so crazy. And be like, well, I'm going to turn up a saturation. Look how weirdly bright everything is right now. Like, whoa. And I'm like, I'm going to turn down like the darkness or the gamma or the blue. And it was like white balance. It's like, what does white balance mean? Who knows? To my 10-year-old brain. It was all a mystery to me. But anyway, that's what I remember, just like messing around with those. I think you could also blur things. Yeah, there was blurriness and sharpness. Oh, I also remember my webcam was also pretty cool because when you rotated the lens, you could focus it in and out. It had like a manual inbuilt sort of blurriness is not a word. Degree of blurrity and degree of sharpness manually built into the actual webcam itself, which was like pretty cool. Well, okay, I guess it wasn't that cool, but you know, back then the definitions of cool were certainly quite different, and to me it was very cool. So had that, you know, I remember twisting it and like showing off to my friends, being like, whoa, check that out, like I can make myself look super sharp or super blurred. Wild, huh? and now I've got this really nice new webcam, which might not be something I use all that often, but still. A flatter jacket? Yeah, I think that looks fine. Yeah, I don't know, webcams. I'll show you webcams. It's basically that, and you like chatting on Skype and that sort of thing, video calls. Nowadays, video calls aren't all that common. Mainly because, you know, we just chat through voice, I suppose. Video call is fine and all that, but I suppose unnecessary in this day and age. Except for like work purposes. Work purposes, you know, video call makes sense. Social purposes like this, you know, it kind of depends what you're doing, I suppose. When you're playing a game, you don't often have time to go look over at someone's like video in the first place, so it's a little bit redundant, I would say. But you know, next time I'm gonna have a video call with my friends, they're gonna be like, "Whoa, check out your awesome webcam!" And I'm gonna be like, "I know," and then they're gonna be able to see like how messy some. Well, I mean, my bed's not that messy right now. I just have some dried clothes on it, which I do need to put away, which I'm gonna do after this. But I don't know. I guess most of them have also seen my room before, so it's probably not that exciting. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this episode off here. So if you have been watching, thank you very much. It's been Animal Crossing New Horizons. I've been Dear Darling. Likes, comments, subscription, shares are greatly appreciated. Twitter, Discord down below. Hope we see each other again. But for now, it's our farewell. So until next time, bye-bye for now.